And welcome back to the Midday Show. I am Jeff Everett. He is Mark Messina. And we had more snow last night. We're all just trying to stay warm. I am in an undisclosed location. You are back in the office. We want to talk about Meatloaf again just briefly. I know we killed the show with your story on Friday, but we do have a couple of updates on that if you enjoyed the story. And then we're going to recap a weekend of monkeying around in North Central PA.
I like it. I like that.
The fun. If you haven't heard yet, you had to be living under a rock. But there was a car. I shouldn't call it a car, but there was a truck that was hit in North Central PA. Monkeys got loose. It was all the rage this weekend. We're going to discuss
You've all seen the movie. The truck crashes, the crates open, the monkeys escape. You've seen it.
It was great.
That's all I got. You got more to say?
Okay, I thought you wanted to finish the intro. And
no, I'm done. That's all.
We're gonna wrap it up with the NFL and why they won't fix overtime. However, this might be a good debate because the result I got from you is you might think it might not need to be fixed.
Fine.
And see, that shocks me. Absolutely shocks me. So we're gonna get to that as well. Before that, though, you had a recap on the Meatloaf and what you guys did for basketball, and then I have a story as well. So go ahead.
I just wanted to say that the Montoursville boys basketball team is undefeated when they warm up to Bat Out of Hell. That's it. Okay. That's all I wanted.
That's because
good. We did on Saturday night. I got to tell you this is funny because most of the kids, they don't know who. Some of them heard of Meatloaf. Some know like Paradise by the Dashboard Light when they heard it. But I took a poll the other day at practice. I was shocked. I said, on Friday,
you're gonna step on my story, but go ahead. This is ahead. This is
exactly beginning of practice. We have 24 kids at practice. I said, before today, how many of you knew who Meatloaf was? 4 hands went up. One of them was my son. Apparently, there were kids who were raising their hand, and the kids next to them were like, "Put your hand down. Put your hand down." But so one of the kids who is an old school rock and roll kid on the team, he's on the JV team, and before the game Saturday night, he said, "Are you going to play Meatloaf during the warm-up music?" And I said, "Well, I can't tell you that now. You're going to have to wait and see." He goes, "But I'll be in the locker room after the JV team. I won't be out here." And I said, "If I play a Meatloaf song, it'll still be going on by the time you get out of the locker room."
So there's so much truth to that. So at our practice, we had 18 kids. And when we did the poll, because we did the exact same thing, and when we did the poll, 0 kids. Zero. Nobody knew who Meatloaf was. So I followed it up with, how many of you watch Adam Sandler movies? And almost everybody raised their hand. And I said, if you have seen an Adam Sandler movie, there is a very good chance you have heard a Meatloaf song.
I saw one of the dads of one of the kids who should have known, who's a rock and roll, and I told him that story. And he goes, "Well, my kid knew it." I said, "Your kid's hand did not go up."
Okay, so
he said, "Well, he definitely knows who Meatloaf is." And I said to the parent, I said, "Well, then either you're a much worse parent than you think, or your kid didn't understand the question." And the question was simply, did you know who Meatloaf was before today? So then we went back and grilled the kid, and he basically said, like, it was Friday, I just got out of school, I wasn't really paying attention. But yes, I know who Meatloaf is. So I don't know.
Nice. So then Saturday, I told the guys we were going to play a Meatloaf song at some point during the game. I don't know when, but we're going to do it. So it ended up becoming this game. Every song that came on, they would be like, "Is this Meatloaf?" And I'd be like, "No, this isn't even close." So then finally, I believe they did "I Would Do Anything for Love" between the third and the fourth quarter. The table played it over the speaker, and every single kid was like, "Oh, I know this song," and everything else. So out of the 18 kids who claimed they didn't know Meatloaf, they knew a Meatloaf song without it being attached to Meatloaf.
Right.
If that makes you feel any better.
Me with some new music, and happens to young people with some old music. And because my son was like, "Meatloaf, he's the Bat Out of Hell guy, right?" And I said, "Yes, that's it." It's funny that you told that story. I had a buddy when I lived in Baltimore who loved the band Squeeze. Okay. You probably never heard of Squeeze. There's a reason you've never heard of Squeeze. Well, they have a song, and this falls into the same category because
they needed a branding officer or a marketing guy is what they needed.
Well, this is there's lots of people out there going, I've never heard of Squeeze either, but they had a hit. It was called Tempted. Tempted by the fruit of another. And it's a really catchy 80s jingle. Okay. But so my buddy, they're playing in this club in Frederick, Maryland. I was like, yeah, I'll go. He's like, it'll be great. You'll know lots of songs. He's rattling off these songs. You know this one. You know this one. I was like, I don't know that one. I know Tempted. So just me, I'm trying to think how old I was 20 something, and just being as absolutely obnoxious as I could be. Every song that started, though, I bet they played 15, 17 songs. Every song that started, they'd be 2 notes into it. I'd look at my buddy and I'd go, is this Tempted? And he's like, no, this isn't. And like 9 or 10 songs into it, he wanted to kill me.
I'm sure.
And of course, they saved Tempted till the encore because it was their biggest hit. But so just like your kids are going, is this Meatloaf? I did it all night. Is this Tempted? Is this Tempted?
Yeah. Well,
I thought it was funny. He did.
Thankfully, we were in control of the game because every huddle, that was all. No one was listening in the huddle. It was just they were listening to the song and trying to figure out if it was Meatloaf or not. Every single huddle.
Listen. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. But they never listen in the huddle. It doesn't matter if Meatloaf's playing or not.
I've told you before. I still think the pregame speech to me in all sports is one of the most overrated things of all time. I've had coaches give great halftime speeches. I've heard great speeches after the game. And maybe it's just coincidence, I have never heard a good pregame speech.
Oh, you need to listen to me, buddy.
Where it's at?
I am Shakespearean. We had one the other day. This is just how. Like, I'm not a scream, yell, because I've been in when I was playing college football. I remember me and a guy, George Day, used to sit in the back while the coach is screaming and yelling. We got guys that are, snot slobbering. They're ready to run through the wall. And we're in the back, like, critiquing it. We're like, it wasn't bad. That was better than last week. I was, because once you get out in the field, you get warm-ups, it's over. Like that adrenaline moment is over. But I was talking the other day, and we had kids sitting there like this. And I was writing stuff on the board, and I was glancing, and I glanced back, and it just looked like he was on his phone. And like right in the middle of my talking, I looked at him, I said, are you on the phone? And he goes, what? No. I was like, I just thought you were taking a call. And we all started laughing, and it was just so. Anyway, yeah, I'm with you.
All right, let's recap again. This weekend, this is one of those stories where it's the most important story, but at the same time, it's the least important story. But it was all anybody was talking about. There were 4 monkeys loose. The vehicle carrying, there's estimated there were 100 monkeys involved in the crash. They're saying that 3 of the monkeys escaped. Originally, they were saying 4. Then it came out that there was only 3. They are all officially accounted for. As of Saturday night, the 3 that had escaped were claimed. The crash occurred in Montours County, Valley Township, when a pickup towing a trailer with the primates turned in front of an oncoming truck and was hit. The trailer separated from the truck and 3 monkeys escaped. Pennsylvania State Police trooper stated that there were 100 monkeys. Temperatures in Montour County plunged into single digits Friday night as authorities searched for the monkeys. We'll just stop there for the time being. Where were you when you heard? What was the reaction? I did a triple take where I saw the notification, went to put it down, then doubled back, clicked, and then was like, that still didn't make sense, and then actually went into the story to figure out what was going on.
I did what every other red-blooded American male did. I threw on my jacket, I went outside, and I started yelling, here, boy, here, boy, here, boy, because I'm thinking I'm catching a monkey.
No chance. That's
exactly what I did.
How hard do you think it is to catch a monkey?
Well, they caught them all, didn't they?
Yeah, but that's different.
See, monkeys are very intelligent. And when you're out there going, dude, it's cold. Come here and I'll let you inside. It'll be warmer. They're like, yeah, he's probably right.
See, I think this is what's funny. People are saying like, oh, it's so cold, everything else. I think it helped them. I think they were fortunate it was that cold. There's no way. Yes, there's no way they moved. No chance. They probably just found a tree, huddled up, and just started shivering. There's no way those monkeys were actually like traveling the terrain. I'm guessing.
Oh no, you're right. If this is like May, they escape into the wild and they have created a new. They have breeded like monkeys, and they've created a whole new clan here in North Central Pennsylvania.
I'm not a monkey expert, but had this had happened late spring, summer, even early fall, I don't know how they find them. I honestly don't. Without bringing in like more of a capacity of authorities, like without really having like lines of people from the commission and trying to figure it out, I don't know if they get them.
Oh, they don't. I don't think they do. I think
you're on the same page as me.
Yes, either a predator gets them or they create a new subspecies until winter when they all freeze to death.
New sub. I don't know if they could create a new subspecies in less than like 3 months. Could they?
Well, it's the Pennsylvania branch of. Yeah.
just that quickly, a little curve in the.
Now that you say that, I never even thought of it till you bring it up. Now I'm a little disappointed that it was winter. If it was spring, like they'd have had a chance.
Well, I had a couple of friends kind of say like, "Oh, good thing it's it's too bad it's cold. Like they have to go out and everything else." And I'm like, "Too bad." Like, thankfully it's cold because who knows how. I just in my mind I'm envisioning if I'm a monkey, I shot straight up a tree, huddled the tree, and I was just freezing and probably wasn't moving.
So everyone's on the same page, these were the monkeys that were injected with military secrets that were going out and going to.
Don't do that.
Is that not what this was?
Don't do that. Right now, say the disclaimer. Don't get us in trouble.
I was just, that's what I assumed. But is that not the case? I told you I've seen this movie before.
Yeah, let's save the assumptions. Let's make sure that we put disclaimers there whenever we're going to say something like that.
What is that not this? This always takes me back to when my ex-wife would say, "Mark, sometimes when you're joking, people don't know you're joking."
No,
I think they did. I hope they did.
The one monkey, so 2 of the monkeys, I believe they caught or shot before Saturday, because that's the other thing here as I'm reading through this. And actually, I think someone commented, Steven said the same thing, that he thinks they shot them. There was one monkey that made it to Saturday evening. So meaning like it went through the night. Can you like what?
He was the John Rambo of these monkeys.
Of the monkeys.
He was the last.
That would have been. It had to be thinking to itself, "What am I doing?"
I had to be thinking, "I'm killing everybody. They're shooting my buddies." First of all, they go through this trauma of they're living in a cage, and second of all, they're through this trauma of a truck wreck, and they get out, and all they've done wrong is be monkeys, and then so they're trying to. Now it's freezing to death. They've never been in temperatures like this. They're fending for their lives. And now they're shooting at us, like the little guy saying, "What did we do?" So he was ready to burn down the village.
I'm curious if the monkey. I don't know. In the story, it doesn't say. I'm curious if the last monkey was found dead or alive. And here's why I'm curious. There is a picture, and we have a story coming out later tonight about this. There is a picture, and I think I shared it with you, of a coyote frozen solid near Bloss Mountain in Tioga County. So it would be up. It would be up towards like where the turkey ranch is for anybody who travels 15 in northern PA. And it is frozen solid, hanging on to like a guardrail. And so like you think of how cold it had to be for that coyote to be frozen solid. And the idea that this monkey would have made it through Saturday, and granted, I know it was further south. I'm trying to do the math. It was probably give or take. South. It was probably 75, 80 miles further south, just off the top of my head.
It was cold. It was cold.
Yes. I'm surprised that if the monkey was found alive Saturday evening, I can't imagine that a monkey would have been able to make it. A coyote was frozen solid Saturday night.
I'm with you.
Solid. Crazy. So we'll have pictures of that later today on NorthcentralPa.com. We have that story coming out as well.
And now, and just one more time, I can't tell if you're being serious or not. This was not the army monkey with the military seat.
Listen, we can speculate. Let's do this since you're bringing it up. Total speculation, 100% speculation. The biggest debate for me were these monkeys previously infected, or were they on their way to be infected? That to me is like a fair speculation if you want to talk about. The other stuff is kind of like movie
You mean with
sci-fi,
COVID?
who knows? Anything. I mean, if they're lab monkeys, if they're test monkeys, were they already infected and they were on their way to travel, or were they on their way to be infected? Who knows? Like, you don't
My
know.
story's a lot more fun. That's what I know.
Your
My
story is
story's
more
better.
fun, but that's the only true speculation that I think is worth talking
Why
about.
is my speculation not true? It could be. You never know.
I feel like no, it would have been way more intense if that were the case.
These could have
You don't
been
think so?
these could have been the black op monkeys. I mean, maybe for all we know, this little dude could have flown a helicopter. So I'm picturing this secret military control room that's going crazy because 3 monkeys have escaped.
We said in our group chat that this was a movie script for you, hands down.
I'm already done almost. I just don't know how to end.
I didn't think you'd go the sci-fi route, but clearly that's the one you're taking.
Well, and somehow I have to work in it, like, while the monkey is the one monkey that has survived, he's got to get back to his girlfriend monkey who was in the truck, but her cage didn't break open, and he has to try to free her while all the other people are trying to shoot him.
Crazy. So here's where the story ends. Authorities had been instructed to secure the area for the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the Pennsylvania Department of Health. The shipment of monkeys were en route to a CDC-approved quarantine facility. After arriving Friday morning at New York's Kennedy Airport, the truck had been on its way to a lab. The location of the lab and the type of research for which the monkeys were destined weren't clear. So the way
no. Let me rephrase that. You misread that. You thought it said weren't clear. What it really says is the location is top secret. That's what it meant.
That's fair. Asked if the missing monkeys had any health issues, the answer was it wasn't clear. That is the exact statement. Everyone was asked to stay away from the monkeys. If they see one, call 911 immediately. Everything else. So to me, the real question is, I would say no. To me, it sounds as if they were on their way to the lab to be used for research. However, the fact that they're not saying, the fact that it leaves it up in the air, that's the fun speculation to me, is were these animals already infected or not?
When they ask the person, are there any health issues with these monkeys? The first response was, does radioactive count as a health issue? Because now I'm picturing these monkeys are glowing.
You're ruining it.
Why am I ruining it? I'm making. Is there any chance this one monkey left, they had the laser beam eyes, and that's why they had to shoot him?
You say, why am I ruining it? But think about this. There were monkeys loose in north central Pennsylvania, and that's not good enough for you. They need to have lasers. They need to glow. One needs to be able to fly a helicopter. So when I say you are ruining it, that's what I mean by it.
See, I'm not saying they need to fly a helicopter, but I'm betting they did. I'll bet this little monkey could fly a helicopter.
I doubt it. I don't think it could. I think it'd still be if it could, I think it'd still be on the loose. That's my opinion. I don't think
that is what I will take from all this. In all seriousness, what I will take from this is what would have happened if this was spring, and obviously because the road conditions are parts of the accident. There's less accidents in April. But if this would have happened in April, I'm with you. Do they survive the summer? Does the non-frozen coyote get them? But I'm assuming the monkey's too far up in the tree or anything to get them.
I would imagine you still have to think of things like eagles. I'm trying to think of something else. But to your point, yes, like it's just such a different creature.
And again, when the leaves are out.
So, anyway, listen, it happened. They're very fortunate. It happened when it happened. There's no.
But denying what would have why the eagles would have been able to see them through the leaves is because of the laser beam eyes. The leaves don't block that.
I can't do it anymore. All right, so we're gonna leave. we're gonna leave the monkeys there. Let's talk about this, and we're only gonna do this, we swear, for 5 minutes because you have to go and I have to go. The NFL overtime. For anybody who enjoyed the games this weekend, they were fantastic. Correct me if I'm wrong. All 4 were basically down to the wire. 3 decided by walk-off field goals. Do I have that? Did I say that right?
Yes.
And then the last one was decided in overtime. The NFL overtime quandary. This is just let me present this to you, and then you tell me why it's fine, and I will give you the floor and I'll listen. There's no other overtime that just completely negates what the fan wants to see. So what I mean by that is in baseball, if the first team scores, no fan doesn't want to see the other team come out and have a chance to try to win it. In basketball, if someone scored, no one wants the game to end. They want to see the other team have the opportunity to come down and have a chance to play offense and win. NFL overtime is the only sport where they're like, I bet you guys really want to see Josh Allen touch the football again, don't you? That's okay. We're not going to do that. It makes no sense. None.
All right. Here's my rebuttal. First of all, hockey is like that. In hockey, you can win the face-off. You can control the puck. You can go down and shoot and score, and it's over. It's sudden death. Okay. Second thing is,
can I wait real quick? Can you agree that the face-off in hockey, a face-off in hockey, is way better than a coin flip in football?
I mean, way better being a coin flip's 50-50. You can't have it any more fair.
More fair, though, but you have no...
The coin flip's more fair than the jump ball in basketball.
Okay, but let me do this. If you and I had a face-off, and let's say you beat me, I'd be like, Mark beat me on that face-off. If you and I flipped a coin, I wouldn't just be like, Mark's better than me, like he won the coin toss. You're not better than me at anything when you win a coin toss. At least if you beat me in a face-off, you actually physically beat me at something.
No, and I do get what you're saying. But you understand the mathematics of it. It can't be any better. And Josh Allen got to call it. So he guessed.
But what does that anyway? So your argument is that because Josh Allen got to call the coin toss, essentially that's as good as him getting to go back out on the field and play offense.
But what I'm saying is it's 50-50, and he did have a say in it. He could have said the other thing. But see, this is the difference. I'm old enough to remember when NFL football was sudden death, and it was just sudden death, and the first score won, and it didn't matter if it was a field goal. So, it was always like this for 100 years. Then they realized something happened in a playoff game. I think it was a Peyton Manning game. There was a nickel and dime pass interference call that put them in field goal range. They just came out and kicked it, and they're like, all right, let's at least make the team score a touchdown. But, the vast, vast majority, and I shouldn't say vast. I don't have the stats. This does not happen very often, that a team just marches right down the field.
I know, but when it does, it's awful. It makes no sense. And here's
what what else is awful?
And hold up, and real quick, what you just said before about they switched it to scoring to you have to score a touchdown. Isn't that them basically admitting that what we're doing is wrong? This isn't working, and so we have to change it. So why not just fix it?
Well, because you say fix like it's broken. There's no great, the college football playoff or overtime isn't great because the team who gets the ball second has a decided advantage. And then the other aspect is once you get into overtime, the defense is exhausted and that's
fine. I'd rather see a battle of attrition than a battle of a coin flip.
It's not a battle of a coin flip. It's a battle of stop someone.
When your quarterbacks are Mahomes and Allen, it is. It is a battle of the coin. What they just did for the last 20 minutes of that game, it came down to the coin flip. It did.
I guess.
Why can't you just play? Why not just play a 10-minute period? And if an offensive team can hold the ball for 10 minutes and score, kudos. Great for them. But at least the idea that it's just going to score and the other team's not going to touch it. Why is that not fair?
If you play a 10-minute period, probably mathematically speaking, one team's going to get 2 possessions and one team's going to get 1.
Okay, then figure out what's the mathematical number you want. Don't focus on the time. Just focus on the idea.
There's no way, because of the clock and because of the way football works, there's no way to determine that each team's going to get. So, like, I get
so we just shouldn't fix it. So we just shouldn't fix it because we don't know what the time. It's so broken. It's unbelievable.
It's not. You know what's broken?
It's so broken. It's so broken that they changed it 5, 6, 7 years ago. That's how
it was longer than that. But it wasn't. But this is always the way it's been. It's like, I'll give you another example. In the World Series, the team who had home team, it used to rotate. That's how they did it. 1 year it was the American League, 1 year it was the National League, 1 year it was the American League, 1 year it was the National League. And then they came up with this idea that whichever league won the All-Star game, they would have home field advantage in the World Series. And everyone said, well, that's stupid. And I said, well, it's better than the old system. And so the system that they have now is better than the old system. Now your argument is it's still not good enough, and that's fair. I understand what you're saying. But when we wake up this morning, the fact that the Buffalo Bills coaching staff is not the number one discussion of the world, that these guys who spend a gajillion trillion hours can't figure out that Tony Romo's in the booth going, squib it, and it'll run a couple seconds off. I'm sitting there with my mother, and she will swear to this. I'm sitting there with my mother, and I'm like, why are they rushing 4? Rush 3, rush 2, rush nobody, but don't rush 4. And then they call timeout. And my mom comes out, and they line up, and my mom even says, oh, look, Mark, they listened to you. They're rushing 3. And then they walked some moron up to the defensive end, and they rushed 4 anyway. And I'm in my, I don't spend 1,000 hours a week, coaching football and planning stuff and diagramming. But in the moment, I understood because I'm not an idiot. And I'm like, don't rush anybody and let Mahomes run around in the backfield for 15 seconds, because all you have to do is keep him out of field goal range and run the clock down. They rushed 4, and they did it twice. They did it twice in a row.
From a coaching perspective, your point is well taken, and it's absolutely correct. But I'm talking about from a viewership perspective, what happened last night is not the best product that the NFL could put on.
What happened last night was an unbelievable product, but it was like the NFL couldn't have asked for any more. And I'm not doing anything.
I disagree. I completely disagree. They absolutely could ask for more, because if they would fix the rules, Josh Allen could have went back out on the field. So I completely disagree with that.
I don't. I'm with hockey, face off, win the puck, skate, shoot, score, over.
That's fine.
And Sidney Crosby doesn't have to get the puck in overtime.
Listen, that's the way it works. The NBA does 5-minute overtimes. There's no reason you can't just pick a time. 5 minutes is weird. I'm sure there's a team that clearly has an advantage with 5 minutes.
Because with the shot clock and
the NFL,
they're different games. And baseball works out fine because the one team bats, the other team bats. It works. Football is just different. And because of the physicality.
They're different because one overtime is better than the other. That's why they're different.
You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. I feel no sympathy. I feel sympathy for me because I was rooting for the Bills. I'm not even a Bills fan. But
neither am I.
They blew it.
Neither do I. But I wanted to see Josh Allen go out on the field one more time, and if they fix the rules, we would have.
Then you know what?
Thank you for watching the Midday Show. Go ahead and keep talking while I sign off. Thank you. Go ahead, keep going. I'm going to sign off, and you keep going. Thank you for watching the Midday Show. Thank you to Weiss Markets, and be sure to Be sure to read NorthcentralPa.com for all your local news. Go.
If you want to watch Josh Allen go out on the field one more time, they shouldn't have rushed 4 guys. They should have rushed 2, or they should have swim kicked, or both, or anything. I could have won that game.
And then we would have saw him the next. And then what you're saying is we would have saw him the next weekend.
You'd have saw him next week, and then you saw him in the Super Bowl, and then you saw him plenty. But
I'm Jeff Everett. He's Mark Messina. Thanks for watching the Midday Show.
Maybe they should let Josh Allen coach, and then he would still get to play. He could have figured it out.